The world of Dragon Ball is one of endless battles, cosmic threats, and the relentless pursuit of strength. At its heart lies the eternal rivalry between two of the most powerful warriors in the universe, Goku and Vegeta. The story begins on a desolate battlefield, where the remnants of a once thriving planet now lie in ruins. The air crackles with energy as Goku, the ever-optimistic Saiyan from Earth, and Vegeta, the proud prince of the Saiyan race, stand facing each other, their auras flaring like twin suns. The stakes are higher than ever, as a new threat looms on the horizon, a mysterious force capable of harnessing the power of the gods themselves. Goku, with his trademark orange gi and carefree demeanor, is the embodiment of perseverance. His journey from a low-level Saiyan to one of the universe's most formidable warriors has been marked by countless battles and transformations. His motivation is simple yet profound: to protect those he loves and to test his limits against the strongest opponents. Vegeta, on the other hand, is driven by pride and a desire to surpass Goku. Once a ruthless conqueror, he has grown into a complex figure, torn between his royal heritage and his newfound role as a protector of Earth. Their rivalry is not just a clash of strength but a battle of ideologies, Goku's selfless pursuit of growth versus Vegeta's relentless ambition. The conflict begins when a mysterious energy signature is detected on the edge of the galaxy. The Z fighters, alerted by Bulma's advanced scanners, gather to investigate. Goku and Vegeta, sensing the immense power, volunteer to confront the threat head-on. As they arrive at the source of the disturbance, they are greeted by a towering figure clad in dark armor, radiating an aura of malevolence. The figure introduces himself as Zorn, a warrior from a forgotten dimension who seeks to absorb the power of the Saiyans to achieve ultimate supremacy. His presence alone is enough to send shockwaves through the atmosphere, and the ground beneath their feet begins to crack under the sheer weight of his energy. Goku and Vegeta exchange a glance, their competitive spirits ignited. Without a word, they leap into action, their movements a blur of speed and precision. Goku launches a flurry of punches, each strike carrying the force of a meteor, but Zorn counters effortlessly, his movements fluid and calculated. Vegeta, not to be outdone, unleashes a barrage of energy blasts, his signature Gallic gun roaring through the air. Zorn deflects the attack with a wave of his hand, his expression unreadable. The Saiyans realize they are facing an opponent unlike any they have encountered before. As the battle intensifies, Goku taps into his Super Saiyan form, his golden aura illuminating the battlefield. His strength increases exponentially, and his attacks become more ferocious. He charges at Zorn with a devastating Kamehameha, the energy wave tearing through the landscape. Zorn, however, meets the attack head-on, his own energy clashing with Goku's in a blinding explosion. Vegeta, seizing the opportunity, transforms into Super Saiyan Blue, his aura a deep, vibrant hue. He launches a series of rapid punches, each one aimed at Zorn's vital points, but the enemy warrior dodges with inhuman speed, countering with a powerful kick that sends Vegeta crashing into a nearby mountain. The fight reaches a fever pitch as Goku and Vegeta combine their efforts, their attacks synchronized in a display of raw power and skill. Goku's instant transmission allows him to appear behind Zorn, delivering a crushing blow to his back, while Vegeta's final flash creates a massive explosion that engulfs the battlefield. Yet, Zorn emerges unscathed, his energy levels seemingly limitless. He taunts the Saiyans, mocking their efforts and revealing his true power, a transformation that surpasses even their most advanced forms. His body becomes encased in a dark, swirling energy, and his strength increases tenfold. The ground quakes as he releases a shockwave that sends Goku and Vegeta flying. Despite their injuries, the Saiyans refuse to back down. Goku, tapping into his Ultra Instinct form, achieves a state of perfect calm and focus. His movements become effortless, and he dodges Zorn's attacks with ease, countering with precision strikes that push the enemy to his limits. Vegeta, inspired by Goku's resolve, taps into his own unique transformation, a form that combines the power of Super Saiyan Blue with the destructive force of his Saiyan heritage. Together, they launch a final, coordinated assault, their combined energy creating a massive explosion that engulfs the battlefield. As the dust settles, Zorn stands battered but not defeated. He acknowledges the Saiyans' strength but vows to return, his voice echoing with a promise of greater challenges to come. Goku and Vegeta, exhausted but triumphant, share a rare moment of mutual respect. They know that this is only the beginning, and the battles ahead will test their limits like never before. The stage is set for an epic saga, one that will push the boundaries of their power and redefine what it means to be a Saiyan. The battlefield was a chaotic storm of energy, debris, and raw power as the two titans, Goku and Vegeta, faced off against their most formidable opponent yet. The air crackled with electricity, the ground trembled beneath their feet, and the sky seemed to split open as their auras clashed, sending shockwaves rippling across the landscape. Goku, now in his Ultra Instinct form, moved with a fluidity that defied comprehension, his body reacting to attacks before his mind could even process them. Vegeta, in his Ultra Ego transformation, radiated a menacing energy, his power growing with every blow he took, his grin widening as the fight intensified. The enemy, a being of pure destruction known as Zeno Shadow, towered above them, its form shifting between light and darkness, its attacks unpredictable and devastating. Goku darted forward, his movements a blur of silver and blue, his fists striking with pinpoint accuracy. Each punch was met with a counter from Zeno Shadow, its dark energy absorbing the impact and retaliating with equal force. Goku twisted midair, narrowly avoiding a blast of energy that carved a canyon into the earth below. He landed lightly on his feet, his breathing steady, his eyes focused. "This guy's no joke," he muttered, his voice calm but laced with determination. Vegeta, meanwhile, charged head-on, his fists glowing with purple energy as he unleashed a barrage of punches. Each strike was met with a grunt of effort from Zeno Shadow, but it quickly adapted, its form shifting to absorb the blows. Vegeta snarled, his power surging as he pushed past his limits, his aura flaring brighter than ever. "You think you can keep up with me?" he roared, his voice echoing across the battlefield. "I'll show you the true power of a Saiyan prince." The two Saiyans fought in perfect sync, their movements complementing each other as they pressed the attack. Goku's Ultra Instinct allowed him to anticipate Zeno Shadow's movements, while Vegeta's Ultra Ego thrived on the chaos of the battle, his power growing with every hit he took. Together, they launched a coordinated assault, Goku darting in from the left while Vegeta struck from the right. Their fists collided with Zeno Shadow's defenses, the impact sending shockwaves rippling through the air. But the enemy was relentless, its dark energy surging as it countered with a devastating blast that sent both Saiyans flying. Goku twisted in mid-air, using his momentum to land gracefully, while Vegeta skidded across the ground, his boots carving deep grooves into the earth. "Not bad," Vegeta admitted, wiping a trickle of blood from the corner of his mouth. "But we're just getting started." As the battle raged on, Goku and Vegeta began to adapt to their opponent's tactics. Goku's Ultra Instinct allowed him to analyze Zeno Shadow's movements, predicting its attacks before they happened. He moved with a grace that seemed almost supernatural, his body flowing like water as he dodged and countered with precision. Vegeta, on the other hand, embraced the chaos, his Ultra Ego form thriving on the intensity of the fight. Each blow he took only made him stronger, his power surging with every hit. "Is that all you've got?" he taunted, his voice dripping with defiance. "I've faced tougher opponents in my sleep." Zeno's Shadow responded with a roar, its dark energy surging as it launched a massive energy blast toward Vegeta. The Saiyan Prince crossed his arms in front of him, bracing for impact, but Goku was already there, his hand outstretched as he deflected the blast with a burst of energy. "You're welcome," Goku said with a grin, earning a glare from Vegeta. "I had it under control," Vegeta snapped, though there was a hint of gratitude in his tone. The two Saiyans continued to push past their limits, their power levels skyrocketing as the battle reached its climax. Goku's Ultra Instinct began to evolve, his silver aura flickering with streaks of gold as he tapped into a new level of power. Vegeta's Ultra Ego form grew more intense, his purple aura crackling with energy as he embraced the pain and chaos of the fight. Together, they launched a final, devastating assault, their movements a blur of light and shadow as they struck with everything they had. Goku's fists moved faster than the eye could see, each punch landing with pinpoint accuracy, while Vegeta's attacks were raw and brutal, his power surging with every blow. Zeno's Shadow staggered under the onslaught, its form flickering as it struggled to maintain its defenses. "Now," Goku shouted, his voice cutting through the chaos. Vegeta nodded, his eyes blazing with determination as he charged forward, his fist glowing with energy. Goku followed close behind, his own energy surging as they prepared to deliver the final blow. The two Saiyans struck simultaneously, their fists colliding with Zeno Shadow's core in a blinding explosion of light and energy. The impact sent shockwaves rippling across the battlefield, the ground cracking and splitting as the force of their attack tore through the enemy's defenses. Zeno's Shadow let out a final, ear-splitting roar before its form disintegrated, its dark energy dissipating into the air. Goku and Vegeta stood side by side, their breathing heavy but their spirits unbroken. "Not bad," Vegeta said, his voice tinged with exhaustion but also pride. "For a clown, you're not completely useless," Goku chuckled, wiping sweat from his brow. "You're not so bad yourself, Vegeta. We make a pretty good team." Vegeta snorted, turning away to hide a smirk. "Don't get used to it, Kakarot. Next time, I'll take the lead." As the dust settled and the battlefield grew quiet, the two Saiyans took a moment to catch their breath. The fight had pushed them to their limits, but they had emerged victorious, their bond stronger than ever. They knew that there would be more challenges ahead, more enemies to face, but for now, they allowed themselves a moment of peace. The sun began to rise, casting a golden light over the battlefield, a symbol of their triumph and the unbreakable spirit of the Saiyan race. Goku and Vegeta stood tall, their auras flickering faintly as they prepared for whatever the future might hold. Together, they were unstoppable, a force of nature that could overcome any obstacle. And as they walked away from the battlefield, their footsteps echoing in the silence, they knew that their journey was far from over. The fight had ended, but the legend of the Saiyans would live on, a testament to their strength, their resilience, and their unyielding determination to protect the ones they loved. The final battle between Goku and the ultimate adversary, a being of unimaginable power known as Xenoth, reached its climax. The battlefield, a shattered wasteland of floating debris and swirling energy, bore the scars of their earlier clashes. Goku, now in his Ultra Instinct Sign form, moved with a fluidity that defied comprehension, his silver aura flickering like a dying star. Across from him, Xenoth loomed, a towering figure of darkness, his crimson eyes burning with malice. The air crackled with tension as the two warriors prepared for their final exchange. Goku's body ached, his muscles screaming from the strain of maintaining Ultra Instinct, but he refused to falter. This was it, the moment that would determine the fate of the universe. Xenoth lunged first, his movements a blur of shadow and fury. Goku sidestepped, his instincts guiding him, but the sheer speed of the attack grazed his shoulder, sending him spinning. He recovered instantly, countering with a flurry of punches that Xenoth deflected with ease. The clash of their fists sent shockwaves rippling through the void, each impact shaking the very fabric of reality. Goku's breath came in ragged gasps, his energy reserves dwindling. He knew he couldn't keep this up forever. "Is this all you've got, Saiyan?" Xenoth taunted, his voice dripping with contempt. "I expected more from the so-called savior of the universe." Goku gritted his teeth, his eyes narrowing. "You don't know what I'm capable of," he growled, his voice low but resolute. With a roar, Goku unleashed a Kamehameha wave, the energy beam surging towards Xenoth with blinding speed. The dark being raised a hand, effortlessly absorbing the attack. "Pathetic," Xenoth sneered, his laughter echoing through the void. But Goku wasn't finished. Using the distraction, he closed the distance in an instant, his fist slamming into Xenoth's chest with a thunderous crack. The impact sent Xenoth skidding backward, his expression one of genuine surprise. "Not bad," he admitted, wiping a trickle of blood from the corner of his mouth. "But you'll need more than that to defeat me." Goku's body trembled as he pushed himself to the limit. His silver aura flickered, threatening to fade, but he refused to let it. He thought of his friends, his family, and all the lives that depended on him. "I won't lose," he whispered, his voice filled with determination. His aura flared brighter than ever, the silver light engulfing him completely. Ultra Instinct, mastered. Xenoth's eyes widened as Goku's power surged to unimaginable heights. "Impossible," he muttered, taking a step back. Goku's movements became even more precise, his attacks faster and more devastating. He struck with a speed and ferocity that left Xenoth reeling, each blow landing with unerring accuracy. The tide of the battle shifted as Goku pressed his advantage. Xenoth, for the first time, found himself on the defensive. He retaliated with a barrage of dark energy blasts, but Goku dodged them effortlessly, his movements a blur of silver light. "You're finished," Goku declared, his voice calm but filled with conviction. He raised his hand, gathering energy for a final attack. The universe seemed to hold its breath as the power of Ultra Instinct coalesced into a single, radiant point. Kamehameha. Times 10. Goku unleashed the attack, the energy beam surging towards Xenoth with unstoppable force. Xenoth roared, summoning all his power to create a shield of darkness. The two forces collided in a blinding explosion of light and shadow, the shockwave rippling across the cosmos. For a moment, it seemed as though Xenoth might withstand the attack, but then the darkness began to crack. Goku poured every ounce of his strength into the Kamehameha, his body trembling with the effort. "This is for everyone," he shouted, his voice breaking with emotion. The shield shattered, and the energy beam engulfed Xenoth completely. The dark being let out a final, agonized scream before disintegrating into nothingness. The battlefield fell silent, the only sound the faint hum of Goku's fading aura. He dropped to his knees, his body racked with exhaustion. The strain of maintaining Ultra Instinct had pushed him beyond his limits, and he could feel his consciousness slipping away. But as he looked up at the now clear sky, a sense of peace washed over him. He had done it. The universe was safe. As the dust settled, the other Z fighters arrived, their faces a mix of relief and awe. Vegeta, battered but unbowed, approached Goku with a rare smile. "You did it, Kakarot," he said, his voice tinged with respect. Goku managed a weak grin. "We did it," he corrected, his voice barely above a whisper. The two Saiyans shared a moment of silent understanding, their rivalry momentarily set aside. The others gathered around, their cheers and laughter filling the air. Even Beerus and Whis, who had observed the battle from afar, couldn't hide their admiration. "He truly is something else," Beerus remarked, shaking his head in disbelief. In the aftermath of the battle, the universe began to heal. The damage caused by Xenoth's rampage was extensive, but with the combined efforts of the Z fighters and the gods, the process of restoration began. Goku, though weakened, found strength in the support of his friends and family. His victory had not only saved the universe but also forged new bonds and strengthened old ones. The balance of power shifted, with the gods taking a more active role in maintaining peace. Goku's actions had set a precedent, proving that even mortals could rise to the challenge and protect what mattered most. As the days turned into weeks, Goku reflected on the journey that had brought him here. He had faced countless challenges, pushed his limits, and achieved new heights of power. But more importantly, he had learned the value of teamwork, perseverance, and the bonds that connected him to others. The universe was vast and filled with endless possibilities, but as long as he had his friends by his side, Goku knew he could face anything. The final battle had changed everything. It had tested the limits of what was possible and redefined the dynamics of power in the universe. Goku's legacy was secure, not just as a warrior, but as a beacon of hope and inspiration. And as he looked to the future, he knew that the adventures were far from over. The universe was vast, and there were always new challenges to face, new heights to reach. But for now, he allowed himself a moment of rest, knowing that he had earned it. The fight was over, but the journey continued.